UFC 285 has just come to a close. If you are brand new here, be sure to subscribe as we've got new videos coming out every week. There's a lot to unpack in this video. But the first thing to talk about, is there any disputing that Jon Jones is the GOAT now? Is there any disputing that at all? A submission win in the first round over Cyril Gane at 2 minutes 4 seconds after over 3 years off. This was a strange one. Coming into this fight, I was swaying from Gane to Jones all week. I didn't know really where to think. But coming in, I was thinking, just the speculation. This is his first fight in over 3 years. I think he actually still lost his last one. What's he going to be with adding on all this extra weight? Gane's an elite striker. None of that mattered. None of that mattered at all. It made it look easy. There was a nut shot at 7 seconds in by Gane on Jones, and I thought, maybe this will end up slowing it down. Not occurred. No, Gane was against the fence. Jones got a choke in, and he managed to do it in 2 minutes and 4 seconds. What does this mean for the rest of the heavyweight division? But he's come back after an extended layoff, beat one of the top competitors decisively. Who else is there? I know he was calling for Stipe straight away in his post-fight interview, but I'm not too sure how that fight would go right now. For Stipe, I mean. I can imagine that being as one-sided as what we've just seen tonight. But nevertheless, Jon Jones is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the UFC. He's now a double champ and is highly regarded as the greatest of all time in many fans' eyes. Then we come on to the co-main event, which was one of the biggest shockers that we've ever seen. Alexa Grasso managed to submit Valentina Shevchenko in the 4th round. This one was actually a really good fight. It was enjoyable from start to finish. It was back and forth. Both fighters had good striking, great wrestling. Valentina attempted the crucifix a couple of times, but Grasso stayed in it. And during the closing moments of that fight, with just under half a minute to go in the 4th round, Grasso backpacked Valentina, squeezed in the choke, and managed to get the win. It reminds me, it's shades of Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes, but this was just a huge shock. I mean, it's one of them. This is why you're a fan. These small moments remind you as to why you tune into these huge fights, because they can happen. But Valentina, on the huge winning streak that she is on, she's never underestimated opponents in the past. She never will do, I don't think. I just think maybe if Father Time was coming around, I'm not too sure. But Grasso, she's a great boxer. If it was going to end, I thought that Grasso was going to be able to knock her out with a couple of the good shots that she was landing. But nevertheless, we've got a 4th round submission win for Alexa Grasso, and there is a new flyweight champion. The rest of the card did not disappoint either. You had Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rachmanov in an absolute war. That went back and forth again. It was crazy. Jeff Neal was getting heavy shots landed on Shavkat, but so was Shavkat. He was landing a lot on Jeff Neal. I think it took a while for Rachmanov to acknowledge and respect the power that Jeff Neal possesses, because he seemed to either be walking forward, hands up, sort of gesturing to him. But Jeff Neal was in that fight almost until the very end. But the standing rear naked choke that he ended up securing to get the finish, it was phenomenal. But 17 victories, all finishes, never been defeated. That speaks volumes. Shavkat is here to stay, and I think he's proved that he belongs on the world stage by getting this fight on such a big card like this. Gamrot versus Turner was a good fight. It was extremely entertaining. It ended up being a decision for Gamrot. I mean, both fighters had the moments. There was points where I thought Turner was going to end up finishing him, catching him, sort of thing. There was a couple of moments where Gamrot shot in for a takedown, and I thought he got dropped by Turner on the entry. But overall, that was a really entertaining fight. Be interesting to see Gamrot continuing. Obviously, he's never been finished himself. I thought there was a couple of moments where that streak was about to end, but very well done by both fighters. Turner proved that he does belong there, and we'll look forward to seeing his next fight. Opening the main card was the biggest favourite on this card. Bo Nickal defeating Jamie Pickett in the 1st round. Just how he ended up securing that arm triangle, staying with him, staying on top of Jamie Pickett, and just slightly moving round. He just stayed there. The pressure ended up being too much. He ended up having to tap. But well done to Jamie Pickett for staying there that long. But that's when you know that a fight was a domination. When you start talking about their endurance, the toughness, and their will to stay in the fight. Bo Nickal is now 4-0. And in his first fight in the UFC to be on the main card of a Jon Jones card, they're obviously putting a lot of work into him. They're putting a lot of pressure into Bo Nickal, and he's proved that he's here to stay. He's a contender. I won't say top contender just yet. We'll have to see what happens in the future. The prelims in this fight card was great. We had Cody Garbrandt back in the win column, where it wasn't the most action-packed fight, but I thought it was entertaining nevertheless. We were happy to get, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I'm happy to get Cody Garbrandt back winning again. Like I said, the entire fight card of this night was actually really, really entertaining. Great value to watch it. From the very early prelims, we had Ian Gary, making a statement after being dropped. It just seems like this fight card was one of them you cannot miss. This is why you're a fan. Thoroughly enjoyed it. That's all we've got time for today. If you can like, comment, and subscribe, it really does help us out.